Hi everybody. This is a pretty wild example here, but this is kind of reminiscent of what you maybe had learned in math class many years ago, where you had to solve this thing called the matrix, and it was like you'd see like a thing would be like 3x plus 2y plus 4z equals 10, and they give you maybe 2 or 3 more rows like that, and they would tell you that you had to somehow figure out or solve for what x and y and z were. All right, and it wasn't too bad of a thing to try to figure out, but I don't think I ever figured out why they wanted us to learn that, and I don't think they even explained that. I think they just showed us this and made us learn it as a rite of passage or something. But later on in life, I realized what it was used for, and that is in mostly a lot of times in manufacturing or production. Now, what we have here is a company called Chipster Soil Mix Matrix here. That's the, well, it might not be the perfect name, but it's a company. And they produce 5 different products. They've got the Vegi-Grow through the Garden Go mix. All right. Each of these products uses a combination or proportion of these 5 different ingredients. All right. So when it comes to, let's say, the Vegi-Grow, it uses 4 parts topsoil, 2 parts compost, 1 part mineral, 4 part fine mulch, and 2 parts potash. And then you've got the same going for the other 4. So, and by the time we get done mixing it all together in this big vat, we end up with 171 pounds of Vegi-Grow mix that we then put into bags or whatever. And the same thing with this as well, each of the other ones. So in order to figure this out using a set of formulas, function formulas here in Excel, what we do is, you don't really need to put this in, but you need to come up with a breakdown of what these are. In other words, when you look at the 4 and the 2 and the 1 and so forth, what you need to do is set those numbers into a grid like you see here, okay? So you don't need to put this in. If you have this on paper, you would just put these in here and that'd be fine. And then whatever it equals to over here, that would be over here. So you'd put the numbers in here, they come from here, and you put the total that's over here. All right. Once you've got those 2 items in there, those 2 sets of items, then you would go ahead and set up a column with the formula that will figure out how many pounds of each of these ingredients are needed to put into here. So what'll end up happening is, let's just say, for instance, it ends up showing 10 pounds here. Then that means that as far as topsoil goes for Vegi-Grow, we have to put 10 pounds into the vat times 4. All right. And then when it comes to the fruit wow, we're going to have to put in, if this is 10 pounds, 8 times that, because there's going to be 8 parts. So it'll be 80 pounds of topsoil. All right. And this would be 60 pounds, and this would be 30 pounds, and so forth. So that's how we're going to come up with this now, or that's what we're going to look at as being. So the first thing we'll do is we'll select the range just like that. All right. And normally you're used to putting in formulas where you just put the formula there and copy it down. This is a special kind of function formula. It's actually what we call an array, and arrays are put in a certain way. And the way we do it is that we select the entire range of where the formula will go into. So it'll be all those. And the formula will end up figuring out how many pounds of topsoil, how many pounds of compost, and so forth that we need. All right? All right, so here's what we do. We do that first. Next thing is we're going to type in equal. We're going to type in MM, and you'll see MMULT. That's actually a function, believe it or not. We'll double click that, and then we're going to type in MIN, and then you'll see MINVERSE, and we'll double click onto that. All right. And then what we're going to do is we're going to select the range of this area here, which is basically coming from here, right? So we'll select all of that. All right, and then we're going to put a parenthesis around there, close it off, a comma, all right, and then we're going to select the total. So these numbers here, which you'd put into here, we'll do that. So I'm going to start from the bottom because I can't do it from the top. So I'll do that. And then all I have to do is close off the parenthesis, and we're ready to go. So now to put the formula in, you have to hold down the Control key and the Shift key, and then hit the Enter key. And there we go. So what you're looking at here is the fact that you need 10 pounds, like a 10-pound bag, let's say, or 10-pound whatever, of topsoil times 4, or 40 pounds, for the Vegi-Grow, right? You're going to need 15 pounds times 2, or 30 pounds, of compost. You're going to need 13 pounds of minerals. You're going to need 64 pounds of potash, or I'm sorry, fine mulch, and then you're going to need 2 times 12, or 24 pounds of Vegi-Grow. That will be a total poundage of 171. But that will be the precise, I guess, formulation to make the Vegi-Grow. And we'll end up with, in that situation, 171 pounds. And then we'll put into bags or whatever, for delivery. But that's it. That's how that works. So hopefully this is something that some of you can maybe use out there. I appreciate you watching the video. Take care.